I learned how to play that this week.
On the piano?
Yeah.
That one?
Yeah.
It's not really a piano.
And Laura's theme.
Yeah, I heard you playing
Laura Palmer's theme, too. Yeah. Laura's theme sounds like a soap opera thing, but I guess that's appropriate because it's kind of soap opera.
Yeah.
Right. Cool. All right. So welcome back to Validate Me. Right? This is started off with Presley and I taking turns assigning different media to each other, video games, TV shows, movies, albums even, trying to prove each other how cool we were based on the media that we listened to, validate each other. And then in the second season, which we're in now, we started doing Twin Peaks. So the first season of Twin Peaks, just watching a couple of episodes at a time. We invited Mommy to join us because Mommy watched Twin Peaks way back in the day. So Mommy watched it once when it was on the air. Is that right?
Yep.
And then I watched it
5 million times.
a lot.
I've seen it so many times.
I remember the breaths people take during certain shots.
Yeah.
And then Presley's never seen it. So that's kind of the dynamic of kind of what we're going through. So it's definitely one of my favorite things. I think it's the best thing that's ever been on television for sure. For sure.
Yeah,
not even zero competition. I think it's the best thing that's been on TV
I don't
ever.
know about that.
What would you say?
Yeah,
I really like The Crown. That's what I get into every time.
I mean, you get
Downton Abbey.
into Breaking Bad was really good and changed TV a lot. Lost was obviously really great. Watching that again was kind of fun, right? But all of those things owe a lot to Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
Right.
David Lynch, I'm not going to say he... Okay, so I think David Lynch, to some degree, brought filmmaking to TV.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right? It changed the dynamic of what a TV show is into being little weekly movies.
Right.
He produced it like a movie. He directed it like a movie. The talent was really strong. It was just it's like a 48-hour movie, basically.
It's just it's like what they're
hours?
doing now with Netflix and everything. But at the time, we had to watch it with a week in
very
between,
episodic,
and we couldn't
right?
re-record it, and it was.
But I think it kind of pioneered some of that high production value.
Yes.
It also pioneered a little bit, as far as I know, right? Being a lot more brave with, it doesn't have to stand alone every week, right? Like most episodic television, maybe there was a long arc that happened over the course of a season, but it didn't really totally matter because each episode was pretty self-contained. You could come in the middle of the season and catch up and figure out what's going on. It was a lot harder to do with Twin Peaks. If you didn't know what was happening and you came in right now in Twin Peaks, you wouldn't really know what the hell was going on, and they seemed to be more comfortable
what's going
with that,
on in
which
the
was
first
cool.
place.
Right.
Yeah. So I kind of dug that. I thought that was pretty cool. All right.
Don't need to come in the middle of it to not know what's going on.
Yeah. So we're on. This is kind of funny actually. So I've got the Wikipedia article.
Oh, Lostpedia.
It's kind of I there is a Twin Peakspedia page, but it would take an hour to read their summary of each of these episodes.
Oh, boy.
So I'm doing the high level Wikipedia one on this one. And there's little gaps, so you guys may have to jump in and remind me on your notes if I missed something. What?
How do they fit on the Lost Best Episodes list?
I think there are some. There's going to be some stats coming up here, right?
Ooh, stats.
But this is one of my favorite things. This opens with episode 4 is the 5th episode. I think that's really awesome.
Nice.
So we're doing either episode 5 and 6 or 4 and 5, depending on whether you count the pilot as an episode.
Right.
It is the 5th and 6th episodes that aired, including the pilot. That's what we're on.
Okay.
So starting with The One-Armed Man is the name of this episode. It is the 5th episode of the first season of American mystery television series Twin Peaks.
Ooh. Fancy.
The episode was written by Robert Ingalls and directed by Tim Hunter. Episode 4 features series regulars Kyle MacLachlan, Piper Laurie, Richard Beymer, and introduces series co-creator David Lynch in the role of Gordon Cole.
Oh.
So he's the one that yells over the intercom at Cooper. He's Cooper's boss.
He wasn't in any of the other ones?
No, this is the first time he's shown up, right? Like, this
Wow.
is my boss.
He was in it twice in the 2 episodes that we
He was in both of these episodes, but this was the first one that he was in. And he's great. He's in the movie Fire Walk with Me, and he's in it. He may show up in Twin Peaks later. Yeah,
He just has a really weird voice. So
a poster
know
for
it's
Fire
him.
Walk.
Yeah. So he's hard of hearing. When he shows up, he has a hearing aid and one of those old, it's in your front pocket with a cable that goes to the ear kind of thing.
In real life or
No. His character
Yeah.
does, right? And so he's doing a lot of yelling. He had this
always
thing
yelling.
about yelling in the show, right? He's wanted to do that.
Okay.
All right, so Hunter's directing of this episode was inspired by Otto Premiger's 1945 film Fallen Angel, making use of small sets and long depth of field shots, which definitely was in here, He's identified several 1960s TV shows, The Wild Wild West, Mayberry, RFD, and The Fugitive, as being influential to the series as a whole. It aired on May 3rd, 1990, and episode 4 was viewed by approximately 19% of the available audience during its broadcast, marking an increase in viewers from the previous week. Episode 4 has received positive reviews from critics.
Are there any that have not?
No, I don't think so. Yeah, I mean, you haven't seen The Fugitive and don't know a ton about The Fugitive, right? But there's The One-Armed Man was like a nod to The Fugitive. Like
okay.
I don't want to go into the whole what The Fugitive is. We should watch the movie though, because the movie's actually pretty good. It has one of my favorite
that's something
lines
you
in
watch
it.
in film school.
The Fugitive?
The movie or the TV show? Or both?
Maybe the movie.
Yeah, the Tommy Lee Jones, Harrison Ford.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Harrison Ford.
But so, there's like a one-armed man that murdered this guy's wife, and he gets accused of it and goes to prison, and he's trying to find the one-armed man. And, I think Gerard is the one-armed man's name even, or maybe it's his name. I can't remember. But Gerard, like Philip Gerard is Philip in the thing. Yeah. And that comes from The Fugitive, and the one-armed man comes from The Fugitive. And it seems like it was another thing that initially David Lynch was just kind of making it a nod to The Fugitive, and so there was that thing where Hawk saw the one-armed man get off the elevator a couple of episodes ago. I think that was supposed to be his only scene, but they really kind of liked him and kept him in. I read somewhere that was.
They say that about every character in this show.
But it may be true.
So that's a good thing for you when you're on set and you have a very small role. You just make yourself very likable, and then let's bring her back. Write her the whole giant thing back.
Let's make a character around that. Yeah, like it totally happens. Certainly, David Lynch does it.
Yeah.
Right.
So if I ever work on a David Lynch product,
that would
somehow,
be awesome. Oh, I would be happy with that. I'd be
Would you
real
take
happy
her to
about
set
that.
day?
I would take a vacation days to take her to
that's
set
how
for
you
sure.
do it.
All right, so let's go events on this episode. So Sarah Palmer describes her vision of Killer Bob to Deputy Andy Brennan while he sketches the man's face.
Ooh, Brennan.
She also describes a vision of someone taking Laura's heart necklace. Donna Hayward winces at this as she's the one who hit it. Dun, dun, dun.
Only her, apparently.
Well, she was with.
She did it. Yeah. So this is a couple of interesting things here. Trivia. So the police artist sketch, which Deputy Andy, who knew Deputy Andy was such an artist? Because he's actually pretty good.
I know.
Deputy Andy drew the police artist sketch. I had a T-shirt that was the wanted poster of Bob. Yeah,
that's interesting.
So I'd like walk around with it, and it was done up as you'll see the wanted posters pop up later, but they're that sketch. So it was a white T-shirt that had that like pencil sketch on it.
That's
it just
cool.
says wanted.
And
for
did you wear it
something.
until it had holes in it?
Oh please! I'm surprised I don't have it. Like I have no idea where it is. I need to get another one. I need to look on
You think
eBay.
Nani took it away from you?
It's possible. Yeah. I gotta look on eBay and see if I can find another one because I really loved it, right? So here's another story of like what we were just talking about with making yourself important on set. So Frank, I think his name's Silva. Yeah, Frank Silva is Bob, like big gray hair kind of guy, right? So Frank Silva was the prop master.
Oh my God.
On the pilot.
Really?
Yeah. And I'm almost positive this story is true because I've heard it so many times. This is not like one source kind of thing. So he was the prop master on the pilot, and he was in Laura's bedroom set, putting something like setting the props up, setting the set up, and David Lynch saw him in the room and was like, "Oh my God." Like,
so did he just not know what was happening in this
and
show?
He was an actor too, like everybody on a film set is. Like they act while they were crew. So it's not like he had never acted before, but he wasn't primarily an actor, and he was working as the prop master and was in the bedroom. And I think like I don't know how detailed like that piece I think is true for sure, but I think there's stories about him like sort of getting trapped in the room when they were about to roll, and so you just kind of hide sometimes, like you hid in a closet once on a set, right?
Yeah.
And I've hid in a dumpster before, right? So you just kind of hide places if they're going to roll and you're not where you're supposed to be. You just need, as long as you're out of the shot and quiet, that's all that matters. And so he kind of hid in the room, and David Lynch saw him like hiding in the room. And they're supposed to be in one of the first episodes when Laura's mom, when Sarah kind of scans the room. If you look in the vanity mirror, you can see him like, I haven't actually gone back and looked at that.
Yeah.
You should.
I think I have, but I never found it. But there's supposed to be a shot where you can see him in the mirror in the room when she's going and looking in the room. And so they just kind of fed off of that, and he made him Bob. He made him the killer, right? Like, I think there was supposed to be a Bob, and maybe they had even already cast it with somebody else, but David Lynch is like, holy shit, that's the guy. Like, I want that guy to be Bob. And so he's like hiding down at the foot of the bed when he's like looking through the bed. That's like the creepiest thing. And then it's like this whole idea that, like, if you went in like Presley and Cooper's room and were looking for them, and there was some dude, like not even like 4-year-old hide and seek, hiding behind like rails where you can clearly see the guy.
Yeah,
it wouldn't be like 2 weeks later you'd be like, oh yeah, I saw this guy when I was looking in Laura. Like, that's always bothered me about the show. But it clearly, like, the show makes it appear later, and we'll talk more about this I think as we go, that like how much of that really happened versus how much of that is like supernatural clues that lead towards, like, is there really a Bob, or is Bob just like this reference to Bob Lydecker, the veterinarian? Like, what's real and what's this subconscious clue that's kind of peeking out? Like, maybe she didn't really see him, but she really saw the necklace thing, I think.
Yeah, she saw that.
I put in my notes too, I was thinking, like, it seemed like she saw that in first person? Like, she was almost like warging into Dr. Jacoby. And I can't remember if that shot was first person, but it seemed like that shot was kind of first person when she saw the glove, the hand, like, pick up the rock. But, like, that's super creepy, right?
This direction.
There's something about, like, having the sight, right? There's something about people having, you know, the shining, and having some, like, capabilities to and Cooper saying he's a strong sender, like, comes back later. He's like, oh, this is the man that was in my dreams.